Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tina Beauvais and I've been getting asked all the time, Tina, could you please film a morning routine video for us? Now my daughter Noel is 13 years old and she's on a ventilator. So I get lots of questions about how do you get her up in the morning and what does it all look like? Now most mornings she does have a nurse. She has a nurse almost every day of the week. But this was a day when she didn't have a nurse and I decided, hey, it'd be a great time to film her morning routine and answer all of your questions. Now, if you like this kind of content and you want any more, definitely leave me questions on what else you would like me to show you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. So without further ado, let's get into Noel's morning routine. Coffee. That's the start of any great morning routine. Am I right? I usually come in to get Noel up about 7:10. Morning, Noel! Noel sleeps on a ventilator, so in the morning when I get in, I have to make sure I suction her. That way she can breathe. Sometimes she drools a little bit in her sleep because she can't close her mouth all the way. So I have to make sure I get her all cleaned up in the morning. I like to use these saline wipes for her face because they're nice and gentle and they don't irritate her skin at all. But it helps just to make sure I can get everything off her face and get it all, cleaned up and nice. Then I have to grab the supplies to do her morning flush of water, just to give her a little water first thing in the morning. She usually gets a nighttime feed at some point during the night, but I just like to give her a little flush in the morning of some fresh water just to start her off. So I'm just hooking up her extension to her G-tube right here and just giving her about 60 milliliters of water. She needed another quick suction break right here. This time I needed to suction her trach to make sure she was able to breathe and didn't have any secretions in her trach. Now would be the time I would change her brief from the night before. Obviously I'm not going to show that on camera, but this is when I would do her incontinence care, make sure she's all cleaned up. Next, I would sit her up and get her dressed for the day. I'd put her shirt on, her pants on. Noelle loves to pick out her own clothes, so she always tells us what she wants to wear the night before, and then we just get her dressed in whatever clothes she picks out. Next, I do her trach care, which I use those same saline wipes as before that I used to wipe her face. I undo each trach tie and wipe underneath where the trach ties are around her neck. I do that on both sides to make sure I get them all clean so she doesn't get any skin breakdown. Then I grab a new set of trach ties and I put those on. It's easiest for me to do one side. I put one side in and then I put the opposite side in. And then after I have that in place, I go ahead and strap it in the back. And I've been doing it so long I don't even have to lift her up so much, and I know that I've got it. All right, and then we get her wheelchair ready. It gets charged overnight, so I make sure I unplug that. And then we have a suction machine on the back of her chair, and that also gets plugged in. So we make sure we undo that, put those wires away. We unplug her ventilator. And I always bring her ventilator cord with us just in case, because you never know what's going to happen throughout your day or how long you might be out and about. Then I bring her wheelchair over to her bed so that I can get it ready to transfer her over into it. In order to transfer Noelle into her wheelchair, I do have to move the armrest out of the way. I make sure that she has a pad down in her seat just in case, she has an accident or anything. Then it's time to transfer her, so I have to disconnect her from her bedside vent. She does have a Hoyer lift to transfer her, but she's still small enough for me. I don't mind just transferring her myself. Then I reconnect her to her ventilator, readjust her in her seat. I have to make sure she's sitting back far enough so that she's comfortable. And then I switch her to the ventilator that is on her chair, which is on the back side of her wheelchair. I turn that on so I can transfer her over to that one.
And there really is a lot that goes into getting out of bed, Noel. It's a typical 13-year-old doesn't require this much.
I love to give Noelle a hard time. She's got the best sense of humor ever, and she's always giving her nurses and those around her a hard time. She's actually super hilarious. Make sure her heater and ventilator are turned off. Then I put an HME in her circuit line. This helps to humidify the air she breathes when she's off of her bedside humidifier. Then I grab the supplies out of the bathroom to brush her teeth.
You gotta pause for a little coffee break, right? Am I saying? Yeah.
Noelle can't fit with her wheelchair in our bathroom, so we do her oral care just in her room. Next up, it's time to do Noelle's hair.
But this girl, she has some long hair.
Doing her hair can definitely be a little bit of a challenge because you have to work around and maneuver around the wheelchair as you put it up. Today I did my signature messy bun on her. Then I fastened her into her harness, and this just helps it so she doesn't fall out of her wheelchair, and it helps keep her up because her muscles are kind of weak to keep her sitting up straight.
Grab our extra batteries for the day. Put them in there. And like, this is a lot going on the back, but really, Noelle needs all of this. We've got her suction machine in here. In this pocket, we have extra trachs. We have extra trach ties, ventilator pieces, all the things we would need for her for the day for her trach stuff. Right here, we have her ambu bag, so her emergency bag. We use this. We use one of these on her chair. We just hook the things on, and then we can hook it on here. Really awesome.
So the last thing I do is wash my hands to get ready to make Noelle's food for her feeding pump. Noelle has an Interlight feeding pump. And a little trick that I do is that sometimes the formula is really thick. So I actually put a little bit of water in the line and I prime it through with just the water, which makes it go through the line really quick and easy. I then pour her formula in on top of that, and she's all ready to go. Then I put her bag of formula onto her feeding pump to take it off the stand from the night before. I grab the travel bag that it goes in. We put that onto Noelle's wheelchair so she has her formula with her as she is driving around. So I get that all ready to go. Then I hang her feeding pump bag onto the back of her wheelchair, and I get her feeding hooked up for the day. And I go ahead and press run on her machine. And last but not least, we go ahead and put her shoes on. So now she is all ready to go to school. Like I said, she usually has a nurse most days that helps her out, but on days when she doesn't, this is what it looks like. Mom's the one who does it all. Thanks so much for watching, and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below in the comments, or if there's any other videos that you'd like to see and understand more about Noelle's life, go ahead and leave that too, and we'll try to make them for you. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have an awesome day.